Hey, good morning. This is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. So today I'm not going to scroll through again and just find something random. I want to play a song that I've heard a few times before that a friend of mine, Anthony, introduced me to. And I don't know, there's something about this song that I find to be, it's simple for the most part in its structure. It's so very expressive. And it's a blues song. It's by Kingfish and it's called Empty Promises. And, well, I can talk about it forever, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and play it. It's almost 8 minutes long, so, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let large chunks play, um, at a time, so I'm not interrupting it too much because it is it's a 7 minute and 43-second song, but this performance is just outstanding, and I we it's a testament to how expressive you can be with the blues and why the blues lends itself to just so much expression. But anyways, that is what this episode of B Sharp and C is about. Kingfish, Empty Promises. All right, I think that's good, right? All right, let's put the song on.
Thought I found the right woman to ease my troubled mind. You said you would be there for me, baby, until the end of time. Start all over. Said you would be there every step of the way. All I ever get is empty promises, baby. Empty promises, baby. As time went on, we stayed together. I knew you would never change, never change.
The song is blues, but there's really not a lot going on, so you kind of have. I don't know if he plays the D minor. So it's D minor. Then I don't know if he plays the. I don't know if he does the D minor 7 there or just the D or just the D. I think he does the D minor 7 as like the riff, and then the D minor to the C, B flat, back to C. So it's like a 1 flat 7, flat 6, flat 7 type of progression. And then when he does the chorus, that's when it actually goes into blues, where he does the G minor, and then the A minor, and then the G minor, and then the A minor, and then does like an A major. You feel that that's leading up to something. You feel that it needs to be resolved because it does, right? So that's kind of what he's doing there. But there's something about these simple blues progressions, right? And a one flat seven, flat six, flat seven isn't necessarily your typical blues progression, but played with the right feel and with to just I mean, really, I hate to say it, I will simplify it, the right feel, it can sound blues. And of course, you have someone playing solos out of the blues scale, so it takes a non-traditional blues progression. Although I think flat seven and flat six in a blues song, Gary Moore used to do it a lot. He would throw in flat sevens and flat sixes like in his choruses for certain songs. I believe the Midnight Blues does that. It's like a regular blues progression, but then there's a flat seven and a flat six in there. Joe Bonamassa does it. It's actually really common in blues. Um, and you could almost make a whole blues song out of it. You don't even necessarily need to throw in the four and the five. But Kingfish does in this song, but it's just there's it leaves so much. You can just make stuff up. And when you solo, you can solo it out of the blues scale. There's really a lot you can do to make it a blues song, and I I mean, Kingfish does it better than anyone ever really ever does. So I'll stop trying and I'll let him go back to doing it.
Over. Said you would be there every step of the way. All I ever get, all I ever get is empty promises, baby. Empty promises, baby.
All right, that riff that he just did was just fantastic on like so many levels. It's not even funny. And that sound he's doing, so it's something that I think is um overlooked with these types of guitarists. Gary Moore did it a lot. Really, a lot of blues guitarists do it. Is you hear like a ripping sound or a scratching sound or an explosive ripping sound before just one note gets played. The fat of the hand mutes all the strings except the one string that you want to sound out. And you can do that going up and going down and then just motioning your hand or positioning your hand. So the top four strings are muted. And then you sound out just the high B string. There are things like that one can do, and when you have the right amount of distortion, it just sounds so bad. It sounds so bad, like bad good. So I love his phrasings too, because he does just that. If you notice, he plays a riff and then he plays it over and over again. So he does this riff, whatever it is, over and over again. If you find something that you think is identifiable in the middle of a guitar solo, repeating it 2 or 3 times um, causes the audience to stop and listen to what you're doing, and then it almost brings them back in to now they're paying attention again to what you're doing. Stuff like that keeps the audience engaged. He snuck it in again there, just snuck it in just for the fun of it. He's doing it again. So that little riff, it's only at 4 notes. Yeah, that's good.
If the promises, baby, you know I love you. You know I want you. Gotta have you, babe.
Oh, gotta have you,
Gotta
babe.
have you, babe. Gotta have you, babe. Gotta have you, babe.
So that little thing that he was doing, or what I don't know whatever he was doing, he just repeats it there in the end, you know? Something that I love about blues, something that I love about this type of guitar soloing and this type of music is that it's very common for the musician to make efforts to communicate with the audience only melodically, with some type of melody. And the musician is never going to stop and say, "All right, guys, I'm going to play a lick and pay attention to it because I'm going to introduce this lick throughout various parts of the song and then reinsert it in one of my solos. And then as the song is coming to a conclusion, I'm going to also sneak it in there. And this is the lick. Okay, you guys hear that? Okay, pay attention to that, and I'll do that." Musicians won't do that. Yeah, and they it's and I can't explain it because when I solo, and sometimes I'll just put on backing tracks and solo on the guitar, keyboard, or saxophone for an hour. And when I'm alone, I do it. So it's not just a way of me communicating with the audience because I'm alone in my studio playing, but it's kind of a way of me inserting my thoughts or my melodic ideas into a song and then trying to solidify it, to keep it there, to say, this part's mine. That's what I did, and then go back and play it again and kind of dress it up, maybe play it differently, maybe start it, but not finish it, or maybe not start it, but only finish it, right? So musicians do that anyways, but it does help an audience When an audience is listening to a guitar solo and the guitar solo is 2 minutes long, there are no guitar solo is just straight playing. Not in the blues, maybe in some other genres of music, but in the blues, it's very rare to just have blind playing for 2 minutes. It's usually the guitar player or the organ player or the saxophone player finding a way to put his thoughts, his ideas, his personality into the song, right? And he's using the chord changes as a canvas on which to paint, right? And as he's doing that, he's leaving little signatures. It's like writing your signature at the bottom of the painting. And many people in the audience pick up on it subconsciously. They don't necessarily know that that's what he's doing. And they just know the guitar solo sounds good, but they don't necessarily know that the guitarist is doing all these things within the solo. And there are people who recognize that. I'm not saying it's a special talent if you recognize it. You know, there are people who don't play music at all, who don't play any instruments, who understand that that is what the guitarist is doing. You know, I think that some of the best listeners of music are fans of music, not musicians. But anyways, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I had to play this song by Kingfish. Christone, I think it's Christone, Kingfish, Ingram, Empty Promises. Anyways, I'm not going to give this a score. I just wanted to play this song. I think that this is a great example of how number one, again, okay, I'm going to try to say number two now because I'm saying number one. Number one of how you can use simplicity. One, flat seven, flat six, flat seven. One, flat seven, flat six, flat seven. One, flat seven, flat six, flat seven. 4, 5, 4, 5, 1. And then that's essentially the whole song. And so I love the fact that it's simple. Number two, of how you can make a one, flat seven, flat six, flat seven progression sound bluesy and how you can express yourself so much. And number three, how within a long guitar solo, because there were a few guitar solos here, how within a very long guitar solo, you can you can almost kind of break it down into chapters and make it a story and make this 30 seconds tell one story and this 30 seconds tell the other part of the story and this 30 seconds tell another part of the story. And for me, for Artie Astor, that is why I like blues guitar solos that are actually long because they usually, once the guitar solo becomes long, it usually begins to kind of break itself down into chapters. And I really like that. Anyways, this video is long. I have a lot of editing to do because I was playing with the guitar and I was trying to get it to do what I wanted and it didn't. So anyways, keep it groovy.